Once you sign up and start using Trackfront, before you can jump in and start creating estimates and or projects or keeping time, there are some initial settings that you're going to want to go through and set up. It's going to make this much more of a user-friendly experience for you. So one of the things initially that you're going to want to do is go into your settings tab right here. And here, if you look under account, one of the first things you may want to do is click on term dictionary, and this is where you can customize Trackfront to have the language that you're used to. So for instance, let's say you don't call estimates, maybe you call it a proposal. So you can get in here and type in proposal. And in here, proposals, for instance, which is the Perl version. And you can do that for project, time and expense, scope change, which we'll explain later, is just an estimate that is for a difference or a different change on a project that's been underway. So that's one of the first things you may want to do, and you can do this at any time. It's not necessary to do right off the bat. Another thing you can do is take a look at your roles. So if we go under permission roles, this is going to be your default role. There's an admin role that the initial user who signed up for Trackfront will be set as. Now, if you wanted to add additional users, other people in the company, for instance, or freelancers, you may create staff roles or however many roles that you may want, and give them whatever name you want. And when you edit a particular role, you have different settings in here which allow you to either turn on or turn off whole sections of Trackfront. So for instance, maybe you don't use estimates at all and you want to use Trackfront for just projects or project collaboration, or you don't want to, or vice versa, you may not use time and expense, so you don't care so much about that. You can basically uncheck those and those will disappear from the main navigation. Now, under each one is a particular setting that you can click on and uncheck depending on the different permissions and functionality that you want to enable or disable for this group of particular users. So that's another thing you may want to consider doing first. But like I said, the default setting is for the permission roles is admin, which, as you can see, everything is checked and you have permissions for everything. Admin full access on everything. So one of the next things that you're going to want to do is, after customizing your roles and or visibility for different staff members, is to go into your terms and conditions under estimates. So there's a lot of estimates under settings, much more than projects. So terms and conditions, this is basically where you may want to create a particular contract, or if you have a contract that you have people sign off on, this is not necessary, but this is basically when somebody signs off on a particular estimate, these will be the attached terms and conditions or contractual language that you can copy and paste into here. And that will be attached with the estimate and chosen during your estimate creation process. So you can create as many of these as you want. You may have just one contract for everything, or you may have multiple ones. You can have as many here as you want. Another thing you should take a look at is payment terms. There are some default settings in here, but you can create a new term and give it a name. It's just basically a name for your term, whether you do net 30, maybe you do 2% net 10. Maybe you have special terms. It all depends on what you want. You can choose one as the default, and then you can rearrange them in the list that will appear when you create estimates here as well. Another thing you can look at is estimate numbering. Let's say you have an existing estimating system that you're migrating from, and the numbers, you don't want them to repeat, so you might start at a particular new number, let's say 1,000 or 100. Otherwise, the default will be 1, 2, 3, and so forth. But if you want to create an estimate that starts 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or any number for that matter, as you can see here, this is an existing account. This is just the current number of the estimates at where they're at, so you want to be above and beyond that. In your case, it'll be 1 when you start out. That'll be the first estimate number. But you can change that to be the first number of anything you want here. Another important thing to set up here is your items. Items are the very basics of how you create an estimate. While you can create a blank item in the estimate and create them and modify it from scratch every single time when you create an estimate, the better way to do it is to create a list of items that you use on a regular basis. So for instance, when you create a new item, you'll be able to say this is a trackable expense or time item. You'll give it a title, a description, an hourly rate or a rate or cost, whatever it may be, a default adjustment, tax if you needed to, you can add that in here. This company has no taxes, so there's no tax. And under categories, you can group these into various categories. You can see here, this is a creative agency. Pure Eye is a creative agency, so they have all of these different things that they do, and they have them organized in these categories like design, web, video, photography, marketing, planning. So this is how you can organize those, and then you can see here categories is where you actually create these categories and tag each item with those, and that'll just make it easier for you to select and sort through those lots and lots of items as you grow this list. Another thing you can take a look at is groups. So when you create an estimate, it's actually a number of groups that contain different items. So for these guys, here's your default blank group, which has one particular blank item in here as your default, but you can customize and change these however you would like. So let's say in this particular case, there's a design group. So these are the default items that go with that group and with design. So there's a kickoff, a meeting, there's planning, copywriting, stock media search, art direction revisions, and so forth. This is customizable when you go and edit an estimate, but so it's not set in stone. You're in the estimate creation page. You can add and delete individual rows of items very easily and change the rates and whatnot. This is just a starting point where you can group certain things that you do regularly and have the items that are related to that particular activity or particular items or service or anything that you sell or want to quote in your estimate there. And if you ever wanted to modify this, you simply add your item in here and add selected, and it'll add it to the list down there. You can duplicate it, you can create a new group, you can put some default settings in here, which we'll get into later. You can even put default multipliers and adjustments and text on the entire group in here as you save these things. This is something that you can do when you find the use over time is to create more and more of these groups, and the more of this kind of stuff you set up in Trackfront, the easier it is to create estimates and proposals really, really quickly, and that's the beauty of using Trackfront. It's very customizable proposals done very quickly. All right, so let's also take a look at, we mentioned taxes, and if you wanted to put a tax rate in here, you just list it in here and create a new tax rule and put the rate in here. It's very simple. That's all there is to that. Now let's take a look at the project settings. The only setting that you'll worry about in projects is your stages. So if you have different projects that go through different stages, this is where to create these. As you can see here, like under design, for instance, this is the main stages that they use for design projects. You have discovery, design plan, copywriting, initial design, final design. You can create as many stages as you want. You can delete these. You can rearrange the stages within them, rename them. Very easy to do, just like this. These changes are saved on the fly, so as soon as you make a change, you'll notice that they're already saved, and you can give it a new name. You can do whatever you want like that. Okay, you can see there are lots and lots of stages here in this particular example. Now this can be anything that you think is relevant to your business. If you are a patio installer, you might have various stages that are related to that. If you're a web development company or software development company, or you're a legal firm, you're going to have different stages that you interact and work with your clients through, or internal teams on. These are just how you communicate through a project with the collaborators. And you need to create at least one stage before you can create a project, so that's important to at least set up just one. Okay, let's take a look at estimates. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of an estimate. So once that stuff is set up, you would create a new estimate by simply going in here. Now you'll have no organization, so you'll need to add an organization. You also need to add a new contact because yours will be empty. But once you have organizations and contacts in here, you'll be able to quickly choose an organization that's existing and a contact that's related to it. Give the project a category. You would create a new one, for instance, and give the website, give the estimate a title, website redesign, and you choose your payment terms here at 30, for instance. And then now let's choose a group. We'll explain templates here too. Templates are actually a snapshot of the entire estimate. This is where you can quickly do estimates. That's the power of Trackfront, and do quick customized proposals very easily. All the groups come in here very easily. You just go in here and change your hours or your amounts, whatever you want in here. You can make some tweaks to the template and so forth. So as you fill this in, your default language comes in here, and your dollar total will change here. And if there are other groups within the template, they show up as well down here. Or you don't have to use a template. You can just go back up here and add an individual group. As we mentioned before, any of this is editable. Even though this was set up as a template and these are existing groups, you can delete existing rows, you can reorder these things, you can go in here and set the rate or change the rate or the amount. You can customize it however you want. You can add any attachments, like here's a web development PDF that would go in here, and then you choose your terms and conditions, your contractual language that would go in here. Now let's save this real quick, and now you can preview it. This is what a client would see when you send this thing to them. They will get a nice proposal with that PDF or multiple PDF attachments, or it can be any type of attachments you put in here, JPEGs, PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoints, and then you have the cost estimate down here and the terms and conditions language, and then an approval on the client's end. They will actually have a signature block in here where they can sign off on it, or with drawing their signature or typing it in their name and so forth. All right, let's now take a look at projects. So if you want to create a new projects, these are existing projects in this example, but you're going to have a blank screen. You won't have any projects. So you just click on Create New Projects. You choose one of your project stages in here. So let's choose Explainer Video. We would choose an organization. In this particular case, we can use the same one, and we'll give it a project title. This is the name of the project. Then we would create the project. We're not going to do this right now in this case, but what this will do is create a new project, and the teams and start collaborating with one or more multiple individuals on one or more multiple teams, and start to fill in the project and create posts and all that kind of stuff. We'll go into all of this in much more detail. Another thing you can do is create a project through the pending project dropdown. So what this is when an estimate is approved, it'll automatically show up in the pending projects dropdown. These are just some test ones. So you can do is click on one of these, and it automatically pulls all of the information from the estimate, the contact information, the category, the title, estimates that's attached to it, the budget numbers. You choose the stage, hit create, and that will create a project already set up with the teams and the contacts in here, and it'll link the estimate that was approved and put all of the approved budgeted items in here. So now you can track actual versus estimated throughout the entire project, and everything will be set up and ready to go.